let's move on to this one. This is the Telegraph still. The BBC having arrangements for their stars. What are these arrangements, Leo? What's going on?
So this is following on from Gary Lineker getting in trouble for tweeting his political opinions about the government's migration policy. So the BBC's had to reveal its specific arrangements with stars that allows them to express political opinions, and it comes down to the stars being identified with the BBC. So
right.
to give the example of Alan Sugar, or Sir Alan, whatever is the proper term.
Isn't he a lord?
I think he's a sir.
A lord and a sir,
I think he's an actual sir. So yeah, Lord Sugar, Sir Alan, he isn't tweeting much at the moment. Because the Apprentice is on, so he'll be associated with the BBC.
So when the Apprentice is not on,
yeah,
Alan Sugar will be able to say whatever he wants on
whatever
Twitter.
he wants, yeah.
OK, well, that seems reasonable, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems reasonable. I mean, the thing with Gary Lineker is... apparently he had a special agreement with Tim David, the BBC's Director General.
Yes.
But Gary Lineker is on the BBC all the time. He's on every Saturday. Yes. So for him to tweet at any point, especially with something so hypocritical and so virtue signalling and so cloyingly sort of... just so unctuous, the way he's demanding that...
He is annoying on Twitter, I'll grant you that.
Yeah.
But wouldn't a more sensible solution here, Steve, be if the BBC just had a broader, diverse range of presenters who had lots and lots of different types of opinions and say, you can say whatever you want, and then no one could possibly complain?
Then the same rule would have to be in place, that you can say whatever you want, and it would still be that the people who say things that certain demographics agree with wouldn't get mentioned, but you notice that Gary Lineker does it, and then you get upset.
But isn't the problem here that the fact that we notice it is because the BBC largely, by and large, 99% of the people who present at the BBC all think exactly the same way?
Well, so Andrew Neil was mentioned loads when this story first broke by all of his pro-Brexit commentary on Twitter was not complained about, and it probably was complained about by some left-wing types who didn't manage to get as much newspaper coverage as right-wing types not liking Gary Lineker. The point is, people will say things that you don't like. I had no problem with Andrew Neil tweeting whatever. I've got no problem because I don't read them.
But they got no representation on the BBC. I mean, they in fact they did a study of comedians on the BBC, and of all the comedians who have a sort of open political outlook, 98% of them were left-leaning, and 2% were Jeff Norcott.
But the solution can't be to stop Gary Lineker tweeting. I think if you don't work in news, fair game, go for it, because it doesn't make me think anything about... Just because you earn a bit of your living, a massive amount of your living, from the licence fee, doesn't mean we own you 24/7.
Well, this is the thing, though. His political tweeting was also used in court. He was being chased by HMRC for tax, for nearly £5 million of unpaid tax. And his excuse was, oh, but look, I'm freelance because I don't abide by the BBC rules. Here's me tweeting all this political nonsense. So he's not even doing it to help anybody. He's doing it to bring his tax bill down, so he doesn't need to pay towards the hotels that the refugees are
My instinct would be that the BBC should just let anyone tweet the way they do. But the fact that they don't means that I don't think this is a free speech issue. If he's broken his contract, he's broken his contract. That's a different thing, isn't it? I would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, there are more guidelines, aren't there? I don't think it's specifically... It might be for him, but when I worked at the BBC, there was nothing in my contract about tweeting, but I did have to have a meeting once about a joke I did about Trump.
Did you really?
Yeah. My argument was he's not our leader. In the same way, if I did a joke about Kim Jong-un, no one would pull me in about bias.
Maybe they would.
Yeah.
Maybe they would.
No, I did plenty of Kim Jong-un ones.
OK.